Mike, I didn't like, you did say, we don't deserve to be in the top 25 because we haven't been to a bowl game in 7 years, which accurate. Yeah. But these rankings aren't based on the last 7 years. They're based on the team right now.
Yeah.
So I don't like that reasoning, but I do agree that I don't believe we should be in the top 25 on these early rankings.
But like the players on this team are the same players from last year that went 5 and 7. And there's not a single player on this team that's ever made a bowl game before. They don't know how to win. You got to learn how to win first. They proved last year they had 5 opportunities to make a bowl game, and they struck out on all of them.
Nebraska football is such a different animal. If you didn't know anything about these past 7 years, or these past 10, these past 20, if you didn't know anything about Nebraska football, and you just looked at their current situation right now, you'd be like 8 or 9 wins. But dude, they have not earned the benefit of the doubt.
No.
Correct. If you're like an alien dropping on Earth and you're introduced to the game of football, you see, 5-star true freshman quarterback with a top 15 defense, transfer wide receiver from Wake Forest who was really good, and their defensive line was awesome and young, and they're all freaking whippersnappers, right? You'd think, that sounds like a 9-win team.
The alien's gonna look at the schedule too and be like,
home games,
so that team's not very good. That one. Okay. Yeah.
This alien was off on Pluto when Nebraska football's been going through their psychological horseshit that they've been going through.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that goes back to like, they were the best 3-9 team in the country, and this year they're gonna turn it all around. Like, haven't seen it. We're still waiting.
We don't write off any game. There are no easy wins. But let's say we do start those first 3 games, which admittedly is not the hardest schedule in the world. We start those 3-0, but how hard do you think it's going to be to get that recognition from these voters that Nebraska is the real deal? These last 7 years, are they going to make it harder?
Not at all.
Not at all, actually. No. They love clicks. Everybody's in the business of making content. If Nebraska goes ranked for the first time since 2016, they're going to be like, hey, newsflash, breaking news, ESPN, FS1, NBNR. Hey, we're ranked.
You don't see the past as
no, I don't think so, because that's going to draw excitement. Plus, we have the Dylan Raiola factor. Plus, we have the Matt Rule factor. Those media outlets and the people that make those votes love all of that.
Despite the pain, despite everything, they still get college game day here. You just imagine the blue blood is awakening.
Mm-hmm.
The sleeping giant has awoken.
Week 2,
Colorado.
And if it's not college game day, it will be big noon kickoff. There will be national media outlets here because of everything that we said. The Matt Rule thing, the Dylan Raiola thing, the defense, all the stuff Joel Klatt said, those are all going to apply if we're 1-0 and Coach Prime's coming into town.
Listen, it's going to connect so many dots. Everyone says, look at Matt Rule's pass, the second year, big jump. That's checked off. Oh, look, they got a 5-star quarterback, Dylan Raiola, who looks just like Pat Mahomes. Ding! That's a check mark.
They love it all. They want all of that.
They love it all.
So I'm going to come at it from the opposite angle now. Is that going to provide pressure that Nebraska doesn't need right now? Because if we get to that ranking, are we going to be held up in a place where we don't really belong?
My brother, don't care.
Don't care.
I really don't.
That's fair.
One, I don't care about the rankings. I don't care about the hype. I don't care about none of that. If we're winning football games,
I'm so happy.
I'm in.
Dude, whenever Kyle Byers starts off a sentence with my brother, more brother, he's usually going to hit you with just like a fuck you take.
Yeah.
I know this is really egotistical to say, coming from a fan of a team that hasn't been bowling in 7 years. You play for Nebraska. If being ranked 22 is really just making your butthole go,
we got a long way to go.
You got to go to UTEP. You got to go to UTEP, friendo.
My concern is, let's say in Dream World, we start 3-0 and they put us in that ranking.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to be in a situation as a fan. I don't want to be ranked just to be ranked. I want to be ranked because we've earned it. I want to make sure that we don't get put up there and we're a fraud in that top 25.
Here's my counter to that. Whether we start 3-0 and get ranked or we don't start 3-0, all we know is heartbreak anyway, regardless of.
That's fair.
That is true.
Like,
go Big Red.
They cannot rank a team until like week 7. But they do that because it sparks conversation and controversy. All that stuff.
I don't want to talk about player shoplifting. I want to talk about rankings that don't mean shit.
Yeah.
That's what I want to talk about.